Hello, American Literature 2. Welcome to week 10. I hope you had a great weekend. Let's get into it. And this week we're reading Ernest Hemingway. I hope you're ready to read one of the most legendary figures in American literature, not only before the things that he wrote and the prizes that he won, but also for a guy who just really had a legendary lifestyle. I'd like you to read in your textbook. This week we're reading Hills Like White Elephants, and I'd like you to read his introduction. So read about him, who he was, and get a good feeling for who Ernest Hemingway is. Feel free to look on the internet or anywhere else to be educated on who this amazing author was. Now, I also have a video I'd like you to watch, and it is right here, Hemingway's 4 Amazing Rules for Writing. It's a short video, but I think this particular video does encapsulate a lot of, it does a great job of explaining Hemingway's rules for writing. Hemingway was known for having a very simplistic and a minimalistic style, which was very uncommon at the time. And if you compare it to a lot of other writers of his time, it's almost as like all of his sentences seemed to be really short. His paragraphs were short. And the strange thing is that without having to use a lot of adjectives, without having to use a lot of descriptive language, he was able to put a person in the story more effectively than people who were trying to use all this language to really to let you know exactly what was in their head. And one of the things that I've always loved about it is because when you read Ernest Hemingway, you get to fill in the blanks, and that makes it more real for the reader. Ernest Hemingway has a fantastic story. His life story is just really just a crazy, just full of adventure. And of course, you know, and sadly enough, he took his own life at the end of his life, and it's something that it's a author that I really want you to get a good handle on. In the book, there is a good description, but also look in the internet and all sorts of things to understand who he is. We're reading Hills Like White Elephants. Now, here's the big thing. Hills Like White Elephants actually uses white elephants as a metaphor. Okay, so I want you to really think about what it is that the story is talking about. And you got to remember, because Hemingway is a really deceptively simple writer. So you might read the story and say, well, man, this is just a conversation. Okay, but what is he really trying to say with this story? And what is the metaphor of hills like white elephants? What does that mean? What is, and you may want to look up a white elephant. What is that? What's the history of a white elephant? What does that mean? And if you're not familiar with it, you may be surprised. Okay, so find out that there is actually a history to being given the gift of a white elephant. Okay, and I will let you find that out for yourself. I'm looking forward to reading some analysis and some explication. So essentially what I want you to do for this week's explication is a lot of what we've been doing so far. And basically, I'd like you to write a 1-paragraph synopsis of Hills Like White Elephants. And then I'd like you to write a paragraph to tell me what you think it means. What was Hemingway talking about? What aspect of the human condition was Hemingway touching on in Hills Like White Elephants? Now, I want you to also think about the changing times. Think about the times that this was published in as context. That's really important when it comes to understanding what Hemingway is trying to say. So I'm looking forward to your thoughts. I don't want to give you too much. I want you to be fresh. I don't want to like color your experience. So I want you to do that. So literally, I want you to do the explication, and then of course I want you to talk about it. I want you to discuss it with each other. So this is week 10. So week 10 explication, let's see, is going to be in the discussions. So make sure you make at least one comment of your own, and then comment on somebody else's, at least 1 or 2, and that way you'll get full credit. I'd like to see some lively conversation. This is a topic that he's discussing, and it's kind of shaded and hidden. And I'm looking forward to reading your insights and your responses. So I'm looking forward to reading these things. I do need to give you a little bit of an update. On Friday of this week, I will be out of my office. So normally I have an office hour during the 8 a.m. hour on Fridays. And then I'm also going to be out of my office next week on Monday. That's March 29th. I'll be traveling both days, so I will be pretty much unreachable both those days. However, during the weekend, I will be checking my email. So I'll be able to interact with you if you need to a little bit there. And then when I return on Tuesday, I will be there. I'll be in my regular office hours, or I can always make an appointment if you need to meet with me then. Okay, guys. So having said that, this is what we're doing. And essentially, I want you to watch the video and do your response. And essentially, that is what we're looking for this week. All right, guys. Thanks so much. Good luck this week and have a good one. And I look forward to reading your responses.